Hello and welcome back to Nyan Archives. I'm KaiyaBell,
And I'm Catershime.
and today we're going to be discussing, oh my God, the pains of event planning and how much goes into them. But before that, before we get into our topic, we have a little announcement. It's actually our fifth episode today, and by request for our 10th episode, we're going to be doing a Q&A. So you're welcome to suggest questions for us. Either we have a Q&A channel in the public AVRMV Discord, or if you want to comment on the YouTube channel here, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, we're looking for questions for our Q&A episode, and that was requested, which is so nice. Thank you guys. Thank you for requesting that. Yeah, yeah. Well, anyways, that was it for the little announcement. But yeah, we were going to talk about like event planning, because that's a pretty big thing, specifically with VTubing, and I guess in streaming in general. Like you have to really plan events, and I mean, I have quite a few like subathons and donathons and like under my belt. And Kat, how many have you done again?
One.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and they're pretty important. Like setting them up is a chance for you to like really be on stage and show off what you're capable of and open it up for more people to maybe find you, show also like how much effort you put into the streams and everything like that. It's quite a big deal. This can be your make or break moments for a lot of people, a lot of streamers. So we were kind of talking about all the planning and the pains that come with it and the stuff you don't even think about until you actually have to like set up for an event. Um, so like I don't know. I'm gonna start off kind of with me. Like my first subathon. Oh my God. It was. I mean, it was only I think 48 hours, if I'm not mistaken. I think I did a 48-hour straight stream. I did not
Only?
go to sleep. Yeah, was it 40 or 24? I can't even remember now. I did not sleep. I did not sleep. Christy also did not sleep. We stayed up throughout the night till the next day for this subathon. And within the first, I think, 4 hours of me starting, I had already reached the cap of what I had placed because I had no idea what to expect. And that ended up being a repeat offender thought of mine of underestimating chat. That's like I think the number one thing. Do not underestimate chat. Do not underestimate your community ever.
You see, you can say that. The problem is the next one comes around and you go, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna reach this." Nah, they won't do that. And then it
It's so
happens.
it's so true. It's so true. The amount of times I still do that. I'm like, "Oh, I mean, last time, they were so supportive and so wonderful and like they've already like helped me out so much. I can't expect more for this next one. There's no way." And then I'm constantly surprised. Constantly surprised being the mass amount of support. Like the amount of time people spend just watching with me, like watching me and hanging out with me and chatting with me is astounding. But always underestimate them. I always underestimate them. I ended up having like a subathon for so freaking long for me. I was shocked. I was shocked it kept going. Every
The
time. I think
end.
every time.
The end is never the end is never the end is it literally I was like, "Wow, okay, don't trust the timer until it hits 0."
It's true. Rule number 1, do not. I mean, rule number 1 should be just do not underestimate chat. Rule number 2, it does not end until that timer hits 0. Until it hits 0,
Mhm.
you should not be thinking it's gonna end. Like, you never know. Like, the amount of times I had people just send like a random, sub or whatever, like the last like couple minutes or maybe like like it's like maybe like 30 seconds till I'm supposed to end. And then all of a sudden I'm back to like, 40 minutes or something like that. It's like, "Oh my God." Like
It's
you
once you hit
can't
the 5-minute mark that everyone's like, "Oh, yeah. Now we're gonna
yeah,
ruin it."
you can hear it. You can hear them rubbing their hands together. Those
Uh-huh,
little
they're
there's
plotting.
yeah, they're scheming. They're scheming. They're scheming. They're scheming real good over
Oh
there.
gosh, and see, I made that mistake. I hit, like, 5 minutes, and I was like, "Okay, okay, I'm almost done, and I think there's a clip of me telling my husband, "5 minutes, babe." Like, I'm counting down, and then I forget who, someone gave biddies, and I was like, "10 minutes, babe." It's like and it just started going up, and I was like, "I lied.
Oh.
I lied to you, I lied to myself."
You can't even like, you can't prepare for that unless you actually experience something like that, you know? Like, you have to experience it. And that's what makes subathons so much fun. It's those little moments where, like, again, your community surprises you. It absolutely surprises you every single time. But to get to that point, you do have to prepare a lot. And that's the thing I
Mm.
think a lot of people don't see before you set up like a subathon or any type of event is the amount of preparation you have to do. Um, at least for me, I have like a freaking checklist. I have a checklist like after I've done a couple of these, I'm like, I need a list. I need a list of like everything I need to finish and
So that
complete.
you don't forget anything.
Yeah, just the amount of times
Oh,
I've forgotten. And then like, Christy comes in like, "Well, do you have this prepared?" And I'm like, "Oh, crap, like I forgot." Like I don't I have so much I just didn't think about. It's so necessary. Cause like it's not just turn on stream and your model and just enjoy, like be you on there. I mean, it is that, but you have to set up like there's the timer and that thing gets broken. Like how the hell do you fix that thing? And then you have like a list of all of your goals, right? And these are the smaller things, but like
and
what
the
if you
art that
have
went with that goal page.
yes, art, like there's so much artwork you have to do. There's like like for me, it's also like thinking about like merch. If I want to like make merch for viewers so that they can support me, but then get something in return, it's like contemplating like what it would be something they might really enjoy from me that still shows my personality, and that's not something you do like right away. You have to plan that ahead of time. You have to really think about it, especially for like big events like I don't know like a anniversary or like a when you reach a goal of followers, subathon, those kinds of
Mm.
things. Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah.
the goals kinda tie in with that too, though, because you have to think, "Okay, is this something they're going to want to work towards?
Oh my
Are they
gosh,
gonna wanna
yes.
see that?"
I
So,
find
it's I don't know.
I find that one really difficult, at least for me. Like figuring out how like what does my community want? So I usually have to ask them. I'm like always like asking questions either during stream or I'm like, If you could put it in suggestions, please." Like because I don't know. Like sometimes I really don't trust myself as to knowing what the community wants. I feel like I get it wrong a lot of the time. Um, so I have to constantly ask, and then I'm also shocked by what some people want to see. I'm like, really? Like you want to
We just want more horror.
you want me to bite an orange peel after brushing my teeth? That's
Hey,
horrible. Why would you
I
do
was
that?
just saying the orange peel. I didn't bring up any brushing your teeth, that's gross.
For those who don't know, Cat eats oranges with the peel on. I'm exposing her right here, right now.
It's yummy, okay? Judge me all you want, but it's good.
Yeah, I tried. I could not. It was one of my goals on during one of my subathons, and I could not. I just was, oh my god. I don't know how you do it, but
I just
that's
eat it. I don't know, it's not like it's a struggle or anything.
yeah. Yeah, no, I don't understand it. But yeah, like the amount of planning that goes into it is crazy. And like something I've learned at least from all these subathons that I can partake is like some wisdom. Get all your shit sorted before you do the event. Like seriously, don't even tell what day you're having this event until you have everything sorted. Like seriously. The amount of
Mm.
times I've had to like last minute panic struggle to get things done because I just was not prepared ahead of time and I already had announced like what day was just absolutely frustrating on my end. And so I really suggest that. Like that's one thing from all of these I just want to emphasize to anyone else who is listening to this and is like planning an event. This goes for any freaking event, by the way. This isn't just subathons. You want to plan an event or something, just have everything together first and then plan the date of the event. It's so much easier. It's so much easier at that point.
Yeah, don't be me and manager who were like, "Oh, that's your birthday? It's in a week? We're doing it.
Oh my god, you had to plan in a week? How did that
I
go for
We
you?
did that in under a week, and Lord, I don't even know, because I had to finish the art for the music and then the emotes, and I was doing those from basically scratch, and I made all of them.
Oh,
It
yeah.
it was a
That's a
lot of
panic.
yeah, I felt like I was losing my mind, and
The time crunch is real, holy crap.
yeah, and even then, even after you do all that, there's always gonna be scuff.
Oh, yeah.
You could start your stream going, "I have everything," and then something breaks, and it's usually the
The
timer though, huh?
It is almost always the timer. I've had the same thing though. It's like the constant saying every time that someone does like one of those events. It's not a re-debut, it's not a subathon, it's not a whatever if there isn't scuff. Because it's so true. You have everything lined up and something's gonna go wrong. And you just gotta kind of like roll with the punches without there's nothing else you can do. I've had things completely break on me. I don't do you remember when I did like that stream in Canada? Do you remember that? Were you
Those are the
watching?
greatest streams. Everything
I
everything was, like, on fire and going down, but it was fantastic.
Oh my god. All my alerts had suddenly gone into not only just like a slightly robotic sound, they were like slow-mo. So instead of
Oh, it was
emotional
so
damage, it was
cursed.
just emotional. Like that's all it was.
Oh, it was so cursed. It was like when you hear a toy start to lose battery and they
Yes.
just start, like, getting lower almost, really dragged out. That was great.
I think that was one of my most like I won't call it successful streams, but more like interactive streams. People were interacting with me like crazy during that time because
Oh,
of how broken it was. So like the alerts, they were just shooting off every single redeem they could to see how broken it was. Like it was god awful. So scuff can really like be entertainment for some people. But man, on a streamer side, like holy crap, it's like
yeah, because
just
it's
make
up
it
to you, it's
stop.
up to you. If you don't have someone to help you, you are, like, sitting there going, "What did I do? Why is it doing that? How do I
Yes.
fix that?"
Yes. And it was harder because I was in Canada and Christy usually like if I have a problem, I'm like, manager, and she like walks into my room and fixes it. I'm in Canada. I'm and she's in the Netherlands. And so I was like, you know, thousands of miles away or kilometers away. Sorry, EU gang. Thousands of kilometers away. And I couldn't do anything. I was like, I guess I'm gonna just have to burn here forever until the stream ends.
Oh, there were so many clips. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
It was a lot of fun actually. It was genuinely a lot of fun. So yeah, like events, I think you have to again roll with the punches. That crap happens, scuff happens, man, and you better make it something hilarious for yourself because it is funny. It's freaking funny.
Oh gosh. I don't know. I don't okay, I understand, but I don't understand how people can do uncapped and then, like, still be there a month later. I would wither away.
Yeah. Usually after the 2 week point for me, I'm feeling it because it's like a muscle. You have to exercise that muscle. So like having enough subathons that I've done the 12-hour stints constantly. After 2 weeks I'm usually dead because I'm used to like 4 hours. You know, I usually do like
Mhm.
4-hour streams and then that's it. Um but you have to kind of exercise that. I mean, we're really lucky at least with Christy. She has really implemented that like if you're going to stream for 12 hours you have to take a 12-hour break, and that's because the reason that that rule is implemented is because when she first started like with me with the subathons and she saw how absolutely dead I was after so many hours, I was telling her I was like because I sleep like I sleep so long. I sleep like you can leave me for sleeping for like 10, 12 hours easy sometimes, especially if I'm like, you know, if it's like that time of the month or like if I'm if I'm really low on iron somehow or if I'm feeling sick or depressed, but I can sleep forever. I'm a sleepaholic in a sense. Um So she would see me wake up and have to go back to streaming, and I was dead inside after like a week of that. And I was telling her too, like, I need to, I need to eat properly, and I need to, like, there's a kitchen to clean or something, and I need to shower. Like, I can't just like wake up and stream. I have to do
Oh
stuff.
gosh.
Like there is life outside of that. So thanks to that, though that like I think it was only pretty much one time of that happening. Christy was like, okay, yes, you get 12-hour breaks every in between for your own mental health. I'm like, okay. And that's become, like pretty standard now for AVRMV, I think.
Mhm.
Um, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much enforced. If anyone goes over 12 hours, you have to take a 12-hour break at least. Like I think it's minimum 12 hours. So yeah.
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 I have to admit, those, like, little 30-minute to 1-hour breaks in between, I didn't realize how much those were gonna save me.
Yes.
Because 'cause you're
Yeah.
sitting there for just so long, and the minute you stand up, you're like, "Oh. Oh, I'm old? Oh, my body?
Wait a second. My body's not supposed to
Oh."
sit down like this for like 6 hours on end. What the?
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden coming to realization. Yes. Yeah, it's so important. Like one thing we did through one of the subathons is we went for a walk every once in a while. So it wasn't every day, but every maybe other day. For my like 1 hour break, we would just walk around the village, and just so I could walk out and just see stuff other than my screen, which is it's important. There has to be a balance with it. You can't just, as much as you want to be there and you feel bad because you want to help, not help, but you want to entertain. You want to entertain everyone. You want to interact and spend time with them. You also need to take care of yourself. Like you got to go out and take care of yourself. There is a world out there, so it's important to take those breaks. They're absolutely beneficial for everyone, and I'm glad you found that too. Even though it might have been your body screaming in pain, you learned.
Oh,
Christy
and
was
see,
right.
I told myself that first day, I was like, "No, I'm still good, I've got this," and then by day 2, I was like, "I need a break." Um,
You were lying to yourself, man.
I
First
did,
day.
yeah.
First
I was
day is
like,
like
"Oh, I can do this, I've got this," and then I realized I don't have it whatsoever.
exactly. It's the first day. You're like, oh, no problem. I got all the energy in the world. I can keep this up. And then it's like day two. You're like, okay, a little less energy, like not doing so great. You hit day 10, and you're like, oh, if you continue on like that, like you're dying. You're dying inside.
Oh, I
Like,
felt so bad though because during mine, I had a whole bunch of storms. So I kept
oh,
having to stop stream overnight because we kept losing power.
uh,
So I
I
don't really
mean,
God, could you even call it a subathon? I kept having to
yes.
stop for like 12 hours at a
No, no, you should hold yourself some credit for that, because that's just circumstantial. There's no way you would have known with a storm like coming during that time, especially after like
No.
announcing and everything. There's no way you would have known. And like I've seen some streamers, they actually just completely shut off stream during their subathons when they're not streaming.
Mhm.
And then once they're back on, they just have like the next day for the subathon on there. I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally. For some people, that's what they I don't know what they do just to make it. It could be also for power efficiency or anything like that. Like there's a
Yeah,
lot
so
of
their
reasons.
PC doesn't implode.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. PC's going on fire. Like seriously,
Oh gosh.
my room gets so warm because I have a dual PC setup, and yeah, when they're both running during subathons, it's a little more toasty in here. It's a little more toasty.
Nice and warm.
Yeah, I don't have to complain of having cold feet anymore.
Oh goodness. I still do that. My desk literally has a vent right underneath it, and I'm like, "I'm cold."
Wonder why. How can this happen?
It
How can you be
shouldn't
cold?
happen. I
Yeah.
don't know.
How about like afterwards too? Because like with the thing with the subathon is like, or this is specific to subathons. I'm sure other long events are the same, but like food, man, like figuring out
Oh
how to feed
god.
yourself.
I'm telling myself for the next one, I'm meal planning or something because that got a little insane.
I know one time we tried what I think it was HelloFresh. I think it was HelloFresh. It was one of those box things. I don't remember which one.
Those little meal kit thingies?
Yeah, and like they're not that cheap, so I don't really recommend them for most people. But for moments like that, where it's like, okay, everything's pretty much done, I just had to cut a little, all the ingredients are ready, I can just make a meal out of what I already have. And that was really nice. I do agree though, meal prepping is so important. The amount of times I've been like, just ramen. I've been like,
Oh, I
all
know,
right.
and that's what I was gonna do it, and Christy was like, "No, you need more than that. It needs to have a real meal," you know?
I
I
mean,
could do that.
Christy's been on your case about eating properly, remember?
Nope, I don't know.
It is important though, because like you have so much energy to expend with this. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm thinking also like after stream is like after the event is even done, there's still stuff to do. It's not like your event is technically done, because sometimes you promise all these other like streams afterwards, so you have to kind of prep those or like artwork to be done or like a new emote or something. There's a lot. There's a lot there. And also the biggest thing is you can finally be quiet. Like it's the weirdest sensation.
Oh, not
Um,
talking for hours on end.
yes. Isn't it? Isn't it
It kinda
strange?
it's such a strain, though. You don't realize it until you get really into the subathon or anything, and you're like, "Oh, I'm kinda losing my voice."
It's true. Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, for me, I remember I think it wasn't the first subathon, but it was one of my one bigger one I had. Um so Christy is an extrovert. My roommate and manager is an extrovert, and I'm quite introverted, but I still stream. And so during that time, usually for my subathon, she has to be sitting there quiet. All right, she's dead silent in the background because she doesn't make any noise because I'm streaming, and that means she's dead silent for like 12 hours, right? And so then I'd be done streaming, and I'm like, I'm ready to just sit down and watch a show or whatever, and like no conversation,
Just
no more
silence.
talking. Yeah, and she comes in and she's like got a million things to tell me because she hasn't talked to anyone for 12 hours. So you have like two people of two different circumstances and just me like just sitting there like about to watch a show just being like, "Please no. No. No more talking.
Like,
No."
I just stopped. Please.
And
See,
I
and
feel
I
for
got
her.
lucky. My schedule, as compared to my husband's, was just by the time I finished, he was already asleep.
Oh,
So it
yeah,
was
perfect.
quiet, and I was just like, "Oh, oh, that's what that feels like."
Must be nice. No, I get like as soon as I've pretty much like muted and everything, all of a sudden the door is open and Christy has a lot to say, and I'm just like I'm just sitting in my
Oh.
chair like, no,
Just a sigh.
save me.
Oh god.
But I can't blame her. I can't blame her for being like that because like I think if I was in her shoes, I would probably act fairly similar. So I don't blame her for that. It's just more the circumstances freaking hilarious to me. It's just so funny.
Oh. You don't realize how draining the whole concept of it is until you do it.
It's still so much fun though. Like subathons without them and without those events, I wouldn't try out new games. Like Half-Life and Half-Life 2, I wouldn't have played those if I didn't have them during a subathon, you know? And
Mhm.
I freaking love them. Those games are so much fun. Like there's so many moments where you can like try out new things. Oh my god, another one I did during one of my subathons, Polybridge. You remember Polybridge, Cat?
Oh my I remember chat getting mad at the way you would build them bridges.
Yes. But I still loved it. I had so much fun playing Polybridge. Like I would do that again. Like there's so much for enjoyment. You can experiment more freely in my opinion because with regular streaming, you have like a structure, right? You have this like structure
Mhm.
of like what your streams have to be. You usually set up your schedule, tell people what you're gonna be playing on what days, which is fine. But like with a subathon, it's like anything freaking goes. I've done Bob Ross, like paint with Bob Ross, but I'm drawing it in freaking paint while he's using an actual canvas, you know?
Mhm. Those
And
were
like,
fun, though.
yeah, that's actually fun, right? Like it's so much more freeing. And so I think there's a lot of like potential for fun for events during subathons. I like that. Like I that's something I actually wish I could implement more into like regular streams. I don't know how to yet. Maybe I should think about that more, but it makes a difference. It really makes a
Yeah, no.
difference.
I feel like it's more community driven because you are there constantly,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, well, maybe you should try this." So it's like
Yes.
there's a little bit of a different back and forth.
Well, I think that goes with flow, right? Like
Mhm.
when you're doing a subathon, there's a lot of flow to it. You have to figure out when it's low energy and when it's high energy, and the community shows you that. Like they show it so quickly. And so they can kind of see as you're playing whatever game, they're like, "Oh, you should play this cuz it seems like the right time for you to play that game." And it is. Stanley Parable for me. Amazing. I freaking love that too.
The bucket?
Hilarious. Yeah, the bucket. Oh my god. I loved that game. Wouldn't have played it if it wasn't for a subathon, you know, and did wouldn't have had as much fun if it wasn't for a subathon. So
Mhm.
I don't know. There's so much potential there. There's so much, and it can be an absolute blast and a great way to spend time with your community, in my opinion.
You just have to be prepared mentally,
Yes.
physically,
Rule number
emotionally.
one. Well, no, sorry. Rule number one. That's the rule number one. Do not underestimate chat.
Yeah.
Do not
Mhm.
underestimate your community. Rule number two. Be prepared. Just please, just
Yeah,
prepare
no.
everything
Stuff
ahead
is
of
gonna
time.
happen. Just accept it.
It is. Scuff that's right. Rule 3, scuff is gonna happen. Accepted. There you
Mhm.
go. That's, like, the simplest way to, like
We'll find out the rest of the rules, but those are your 2 major ones.
oh, man. Alright. This is probably a good time to end it off.
Mhm.
Thank you everyone again for coming to hang out and watch, episode 5 of Nyan Archives. Again, just a reminder, for our 10th episode, we are doing a Q&A. And you're welcome to suggest any questions for us. You can either do it again on the AVRV public Discord, which we'll have linked in the description, um, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube videos. For those on Spotify, I guess Discord for you. I have no idea what
I don't
chat.
know how Spotify works, I'm so sorry.
Just suffer. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, anyways, so I'm both of us you can find on Twitch as well if you want to talk if you want to hang out with either Kat or Sime here or me. I'm KaiyaBell and you're
Cat,
Kat or Sime.
please. Please don't ruin my name.
Cater Sime, Cater Sime.
Caters Hime, yes.
Cat caters. I keep saying Kat or Sime. Caters Hime
Yeah,
on
it's
Twitch.
fine. At this point, I've just accepted it.
Yeah, you guys can check us out on Twitch. And again, if you have any questions or anything, oh, also suggestions. Sorry, also suggestions for guests. If you guys want to see specific guests on the podcast, leave suggestions, comment it. Like, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Absolutely worth it. We will happily look into people if you want us to interview them or anything. Yeah, and that's pretty
Mhm.
much it.
Kaya will probably be there when, this episode premieres.
I will try to. I've been trying to be around during the premieres of the podcast on YouTube. So if you ever want to listen to more just like right when it's coming out, you can probably find me on YouTube chatting with people. Feel free to come in and chat with me. Um, Unfortunately, Kat can't always make it because it's like when it releases, it's like 3 a.m. for her. So
I will look at the comments, though. I'll try to keep up as much as possible.
yeah. So thank you guys for coming to listen again, and we will see you on the next episode.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.